Hello, everybody. My name is Bruce Montgomery, and this is my colleague Tracy Priest, and we're with The Road to Retail. Tracy and I hope to offer you tips and insights on how small, emerging challenger brands can go about building their business. Everything from where to start, to proving it online, to securing that meeting with the retailers to get into brick and mortar distribution. Tracy and I have each been in consumer packaged goods for more than 30 years. We've been in commercial operations roles, which is sales, marketing, business development, new product development, building broker networks, brand management, acquisition, divestiture, really the whole gamut. We hope you find today's discussion helpful, and Tracy at the end will give you an email address where you can send us questions where we'll get back to you. So let's jump right in. Today's topic is how to go about setting your retail price. So pricing, a statement of the obvious coming, folks, is vital to your brand, especially as you move into brick and mortar. You've probably proven it a little bit online. You've gotten some traction. Maybe you're getting some inbound inquiries from retailers that, hey, we'd really like to talk to you. So you got to calm down and think through a few things. Before you make that jump, you have to make sure that you really understand your cost of goods. And that's fully loaded, not just the cogs of the ingredients that make your granola bar, cookie, or skin cream. What are your shipping costs? What might be your trade spending expectations with these retailers? Because you're going to have trade spending. There's no way around them. Have you incorporated your distributor markup? Are you looking at all that now and you still have enough margin that this is going to be a profitable venture for you? The reason getting your pricing critical at the start is this. Once you go out to brick and mortar, moving your price up or down is hard. Each of them have different challenges. Moving down, you have to do what's called protecting shelf stock and do refunds of product that's already been ordered at higher prices. And if you want to take prices up, taking price increases is really, really difficult. I'll also tell you that if you have a product such as coffee that has as a key input a commodity that can be volatile, you have to know how you're going to handle this. After a certain move in the commodity, are you going to try to move your price up or down? I can tell you, because if the commodity moves up, you as the manufacturer at some point are going to want to move your price up. And if the commodity goes down, the retailers will be on the phone after a certain point asking when you're going to move your price down. So you have to understand how each retailer handles your category and how the bigger brands in your category handle these commodity moves, because odds are you're going to be a follower. So you need to think through that and how you're going to handle it. Tracy, do you have anything to add on those couple of points before we move along?
Yes, I'd like to really emphasize again the importance of making sure that you have your COGS correct. I'll give you an example. I had a client recently that did not include shipping into their COGS and had developed their pricing grid and their spec sheet, was ready to go out to retail when they realized that they had not covered and included shipping into their cost of goods. The other thing I would also give an example for with distributors, as in the natural channel, a UNFI and KeHE, they require a 90-day notice before they will take any kind of pricing action. So it has to be on company letterhead, and you need to justify why you're taking your price up or down.
Good points, good points. So moving on, a couple of other things for you to keep in mind is if you've been a brand that really started online, where if you've watched Tracy and I do these little talks before, we highly encourage that, okay? It's a way where you can control the environment, you can control your inventory, a lot of good things to proving it that way. But if you've started online and you're starting to think about going to brick and mortar, understand what your pricing is on your website and if you're selling through Amazon. Every retailer in the US, if you get a meeting with XYZ retailer, they're going to go check those two things: the biggest marketplace on the planet, Amazon, and your direct-to-consumer website. And they're going to look at the prices on those two websites, and then they're going to look at the pricing you've offered them, and they're going to calculate their margins and what they need to do to be successful within their category. And that's what they're going to start making decisions off. So if for some reason you have some really low prices on your direct-to-consumer website and you're happy with that, you need to know that's going to be a challenge trying to go into some of these retailers because they're not going to accept items which dilute their profitability. They're just not. And then the other thing is on Amazon, as you know, Amazon can be a friend and a foe. If you've lost control on your pricing on Amazon, you can try to fix it. There's some steps you can make, but the bottom line is those are the two sources that a retailer is going to go look to see how their pricing will be. The next thing is make sure you've done your due diligence about the retailer that you're thinking of going into. Understand who they're already carrying in your category. Understand how many SKUs these brands are getting. If the brand leader within the category has 4 SKUs, you can't walk in there and ask for 7. Okay, that's not going to work. So understand the commitment to the category, how they're pricing it, and who the key competitors are and how they behave. Those are going to be really interesting and important dynamics for you to understand. Tracy?
Yeah, so to address the online pricing, make sure that you're developing a MAP policy, which basically controls your pricing with online retailers. That's one thing I would definitely highlight based on what you said, Bruce. Also, get into stores and see what your competitors are priced at. If your competitors are priced at $7.99 and you're coming in at $10.99, the first question the buyer's going to ask in the meeting is, why are you $3 more than my highest priced item? And you're going to have to really have a great answer to that question.
An interesting point there. When Tracy says get into stores, that's so important. And don't just get into the store that's right across the street from headquarters, because your buyer will know that if you make a comment about the such and such display there, a lot of times that could be a test store. Often it is the ones close to headquarters so people can go see. Get into stores, get your friends and family that live in other towns to take some pictures, really show that you've done your homework and that you're going to be a small brand that these retailers can count on. You're not going to be a free rider and you're not going to be high maintenance. Tracy, anything else here on EDLP? I think we had one more point to make.
Yeah, so make sure that you double and triple check your pricing and your spec sheet, because if there's errors on that, there are retailers out there that will fine you for UPC mistakes, pricing mistakes, specs mistakes. So just make sure that you're double checking everything on that pricing and spec sheet before giving that to a retail partner. And then also on the EDLP retailers, we highly recommend not going there first as an example as a Walmart, because that really does then set your price low in the market. And a lot of other retailers cannot operate on that same margin that a Walmart does. And then now you've established your price in the marketplace too low. And a retailer will come to you and say, I can't match that because I don't operate on that profit margin.
Right. And even though some of these retailers may not really compete with Walmart, if we want to be honest, they'll say they do. And in their mind, they think they do, and they do to a certain extent. But what it does is it gives them an easy thing to object to. So you have to be really, really careful about that. That's all I had to add there, Trace.
That's perfect. And I think that concludes our session on pricing today, Bruce. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. And if you have further questions, please reach out to us at road2retailp@gmail.com. And thanks again for joining us and have a great day.